What is up, y'all? Welcome back to another review of our Andor series. We are finally here to talk about Andor Season 2 with episodes 1, 2, and 3. So if you have not watched anything Andor related up through Season 2, Episode 3, then highly recommend pausing this video, coming back once you have caught up, because we are going to be talking about full spoilers from this point forward. And by we, I mean we got a threesome going.
Yeah.
I'm Matt Primo. We got Nick Ziegler here.
What's up?
And then we have a newbie here, Brandon Cloy. How are you, sir?
I'm doing just fine. Excited to talk about some Andor.
Yeah. So hopefully he gets
I'm
the
so
little
glad.
jitters out.
Yeah, I'm so glad I'm here to pop his cherry.
Right? I told him this is you have to make a good impression on this in order to come back.
I'll try my best. Try my best, sir.
All right. We talked a lot of shit about Andor the other night, so I have a lot of faith in you, sir.
Thank you. I will say, I told you, I didn't tell Nick, Andor Season 1 is the best piece of Star Wars we've gotten since Return of the Jedi. So, very much love it.
That is a bold fucking claim.
It is
Bold
written.
fucking claim. That is a lie if I ever fucking heard
It's not a lie for me. I think it is perfect. That first season,
From my
10
perspective,
out
the
of
Jedi
10.
are evil. That's kind of what I'm kind of viewing right now. Sir, you are so okay. Yeah, that is a podcast for another day, because we're about to go see might be the best Star Wars movie in a week. So
not even. Like 4 days, 5 days.
Yeah, so I'm just saying. But Andor is the best Disney stuff
I'm sure we
that
can all
that
agree
we've
to
got.
that one. It's not even like
There's
close.
No argument.
I'll be curious to know, rewatching Rogue One after this, and see if it where it moves up my rankings or not. So that'll be interesting. But regardless, Rogue One and then Andor, easily the best thing that Disney has done with Lucasfilm and Star Wars, easily.
Absolutely.
And going based off of that, I mean, there was a 99% tomato meter for this show, which is like one of the highest rated seasons ever.
And it's been talked about
Yeah.
a lot more than Season 1 was. The Twitter discourse is kind of crazy right now.
I mean, according to Rotten Tomatoes, this series is the best piece of Star Wars anything ever. So,
see, that's crazy. But never say that.
Crazy. I don't know. It'll be interesting to look back on this after we watch all 12 episodes and see it as a whole, and see where it fits in our hierarchy, our tiers, and our rankings. It'd be interesting to go back and look at that and see if it was overhyped, hyped just enough, or not, But if you are following along with our review series, and by we, I mean Nick and I, reviewed every episode of Andor Season 1. On our last episode, we did something a little bit differently than we have in the past, which is we decided to follow some storylines rather than reviewing each individual episode. So we're going to kind of continue that with episodes 1 through 3 of Season 2. We're going to talk about the 4 main storylines that are kind of going on, and before that we'll give out our initial impressions of the first 3 episodes, and then we'll jump into those storylines. So we'll let the rookie go first.
Ooh.
Mr. Cloy,
so I will say,
how do you feel about those first 3 episodes?
I think the first 3 episodes are pretty good. Compared to Season 1, I think it's a little bit weaker than the first 3 episodes of that one. I feel like that was doing a lot, but I feel like they were hitting some strong themes pretty early on with this, with Cassian's whole, trying to show what rebellion would be like if they didn't have proper leadership, and the other themes they were hitting with Mon and Luthen. I think they're pretty strong.
I'm going to say that these 3 episodes were better than the first 3 episodes of Season 1.
I guess I just have to.
I'm gonna have to argue that. Season 1, man, episodes 1 and 2, they were a slow burn, which I had to warn Primo about, and I've said it before. I had to tell him, like, hey, man, you got to get through the first 2 episodes. They're good, but they're not what you are going to expect. You got to get through it to get to the rest of it. This one came out swinging from the very beginning. And I think a big part of that is because they don't have to build characters anymore. They already have the characters established. We know who they are. We can just come out fighting now and start having some fun episodes, some deep episodes, and start really building this plot in the rebellion a lot better and a lot quicker now that we know who everybody is. But I loved them. I watched all 3 of them while I was at work. And I was fortunate enough to pretty much knock them all out from beginning to end without having too many interruptions.
I'm going to have to side with Nick on this. I think these 3 episodes are much better than the first 3 episodes of season 1. And really, I think the only lull that I found in these first 3 episodes was I feel like maybe the Cassian, and I'm going to call them the band of buffoons. I don't know if there's a more technical thing out there, but that's essentially what it was.
Yeah.
I think maybe that dragged on a little too long.
Yeah, it did.
I feel like it is the weakest part of the show.
It was like almost towards the end of episode 2. I was like, okay, like I get it, guys. Like I've had enough of this. let's kind of push it along a little bit. I'd be interested in exploring any of the other storylines at this point. Like I've gotten my feel of Cassian and these people. But one thing that is, and Nick and I have kind of talked about it just a little bit, and that's the humor so far in season 2 is definitely funnier. I mean, I'll give them that. I do like the humor
really
a lot.
Just in the first episode, though, right?
It was. A lot of it was right around the band of buffoons.
Yeah, there was.
If it was anything else, it wasn't really funny.
Yeah, no, there was nothing. It was strictly Cassian that was humorous, but it wasn't. Some of it was deliberate humor. Whatever. I can't talk. Some of it seemed like it was deliberate. Some of it seemed more like it was just situational, which I'm okay about. And I just love the fact that it wasn't like your mama jokes, like we've seen. Or
Marvel.
Can you hear me? Or the "Can you hear me now" jokes that we've seen.
Can you hear me now jokes?
Specifically, we're talking about one specific character in the sequel trilogy that I just hate.
Oh, whoever could that be?
I know where you're going with this. I've known you a long time, sir. I know where your head is, literally and figuratively.
Right.
No, but the 3 episodes, I think overall, I like the fact that we're kind of telling, 4 different stories in this one season. And I think episode 3 may have wrapped up, like the very end was kind of sped up a little bit. And so I think maybe the storyline was a little uneven between the 3 episodes. But overall, I really enjoyed it. I thought we're getting some things that we have not necessarily ever gotten in Star Wars, and we can kind of jump into that a little bit more as we explore the storylines. But I thought it was great. I thought the humor was great. It's not Marvel MCU humor where it just feels so forced. I thought it looks great. I think it looks better than season 1 now. I think the set designs and the costumes, all that look absolutely fantastic.
That first episode specifically looks amazing when he goes out of the hangar.
I would be curious to know how much they spent on this. The rumor is they spent more in the first 3 episodes than they did all of Obi-Wan.
That's not shocking.
That's how
the set design for Obi-Wan was horrible.
Season 1 was the same way. I think that was the highest costing Star Wars show at that point.
Until you got to the Acolyte.
Look what that did for him.
Look, it's a reoccurring joke on here that we have to mention the Acolyte, and like we have to throw shit at that show at least once.
Oh, please do. It deserves it.
I've been seeing there's petitions out there to make a season 2.
Dude, did you see the guy that played was it Kumir, whatever the fuck his name was?
Smiley.
Like, yeah, Smiley.
Smiley Rim.
He was like, yeah, we put so much effort into this, and we thought we did like a really great job. I'm like, bro, did we watch the same show? Like, you did a good job.
He did a great job. He did a fantastic job.
Like, your effort was there, sir. Everything else was terrible. We thought the designs and the sets looked so damn good, and I'm like, bro, we didn't watch the same Star
They
Wars
did.
show.
Yeah, they did not. Your arms looked amazing, but
all right, so let's just go ahead and jump into the main storylines. We're going to talk about Mon and Luthen, kind of group those two together. Cassian by himself with his band of buffoons, Bix and Brasso, and then we'll kind of combine Cyril, Daedra, and Krennic as three. But Krennic was only in episode 1, if I'm not mistaken.
And
Or
only
was
for
it
like
episode 2?
10 minutes. Not very long at all.
yeah, he
Was
was,
he in
just
episode
in
2?
that.
No, just the first
No,
episode.
it was just the meeting. It was just the meeting, and was that even episode 1? That might have been episode 2. I can't remember.
I think that was the end of 1 because it was setting up Deandra, and then she's back on Coruscant by the time episode 2 rolls around.
Listen, the more I get of Krennic, the better, because I'm a Ben Mendelsohn dick rider. Okay, so the more we have of him in the
True
show,
story.
the better for me.
He's been anticipating his return, and then they showed the poster, and I got an immediate screenshot of it. Like, bro, it's happening! It's happening!
I showed that to Matt the other day. I was like,
It's a
dude, when
wreck.
they release that physically, I'm getting that for my room. The poster's great.
Yeah, and put his just right there on the ceiling. All right, so Mon and Luthen, and I had mentioned a minute ago that we're getting some different things with the Star Wars universe, and a lot of that comes through Mon's storyline. And where I'm kind of going with this is the fact that we have this wedding, the ceremony, we have this, I don't know, like a bar mitzvah party style thing going on at the very end. I don't know if y'all got those vibes, but I did. And I was like, this is fucking crazy for it to ever be in Star Wars. And I kind of fucking like it. You know, it's kind of like, to me, it's building out the world a little bit more than what we've gotten in the past.
I didn't get the bar mitzvah thing.
When they're doing like the fucking
when she's
dancing
dancing at the
I'm
end.
Like, oh, that's bar mitzvah.
No. I know what you're talking about. I got more of a Buffy and Faith dancing in the club scene. Yeah,
I didn't realize
Yeah,
I didn't realize there was a fellow Buffy the Vampire Slayer fan in here.
Nick's over there like, did we just become best friends?
What?
I grew up on Buffy.
Yeah, you can go ahead and log out. We got this, dude. We got it.
This dude's a huge Buffy fan. Sorry.
Oh, I grew up on it, so I'm a huge
did
Buffy
too,
fan
yep.
as well.
But no, I definitely got a more of a Buffy and Faith just throwing down, going wild, dancing.
It's crazy to me that we've never gotten anything like that in anything Star Wars, like TV shows, movies. It's just like we're seeing the traditions of the actual people, and I mean, obviously, you're seeing some of the influences from like real world stuff, but for the most part, I mean, it was interesting. I don't think it dragged on. I didn't dislike any of it by any means. I thought it was very interesting, and the fact that we have Mon just kind of like losing her shit, like she's to this point where she's like slowly unraveled,
and then at the very end, the music hits and she just gives in. She's just like, you know what? Let's live.
You can see the point where she turns on her daughter as well when she's like, no, you follow behind me, and she gets in front of her. You're like, ooh, okay.
Well, and you know, that was great because like the first season, the daughter hates her. Just hates her. And then now that she's getting married, it's like, oh my God, they're friendly to one another. The daughter's actually loving her mom kind of thing. And then mom is just like, you don't have to do this. You can back out right now. And then it just flips right back to, I fucking hate you.
I wish you were drunk. You're like, oh, okay.
I wish you were drunk.
So then she's like, all right, wish granted. I'm getting wasted and I'm dancing and I'm going to embarrass the fuck out of you.
It was great.
It
was great. I was there all for the drama, and it's still funny to me. And I think I don't know what episode it was, but I've made this point before that it's crazy to me that like people aren't looking at her just walking around talking to these people. And I'm like, this looks so suspicious when you're doing
Super
it.
suspicious. Especially when she's talking to the banker guy. You're like,
Well, that and her husband is just like, hey man, what's up with your boyfriend? I heard he left his wife now, so I guess you guys are back on for sure now. And like, that's a relationship.
Even Luthen implies something about that whenever she's like, I'll talk to him on court about the price. And he's like, we already know the price.
Oh no, he wasn't talking about that. The price was going to be a little piano string around the neck.
Yep, that's what I was getting at. Luthen is done fucking playing games. He's like, fucking take him out.
Yep.
This lead is burned.
Right, and I think that's at the very end. Mon knows it, and Mon's just like, all right, just let it happen. I'm going to enjoy myself. And Tay goes for a little jet car ride, and we'll never see his ass again.
Especially with who's driving.
I think there's some really good acting from Mon or whoever. I don't know the actress off the top of my head. The actress that plays Mon. I think she has some really good like facial acting here when he's telling her we know the price. Like he's implying that like he wants him dead, and her facial expression there is like she can't fucking believe that he is saying this. Mm-hmm. But it's also this expression of he's fucking right.
Yep. He told her in the first
season.
And
like she kind of just goes and drinks.
Told her in the first season.
And I like how they brought Vela in to witness her ex taking him off on the car ride. It was like a scene from The Godfather when he's going out on the rowboat.
Yeah. Speaking of Vel, which she's not in any of these that we're going to be talking about. Like, have we gotten like a character that has just like has nothing to do since like the first 3 episodes or those middle 3 episodes of last season?
The second arc. Yeah.
No, yeah. She's just kind of around.
She literally has not had anything to do since then.
Right.
I do like her little exchange with the assistant where she's like, "Oh, we're pretending like we're meeting for the first time," and she's like, "No, you've been around the store multiple times," which is 2 single ladies looking for potential prospects.
Yeah, Vel just doesn't know what to do with herself.
Literally. I don't think the producers know what to do over there.
I think they are. I think they're building her up of not doing anything. I think she's going to play a bigger role later on.
In the back half?
Yeah. Or even,
the back,
even in
back third.
In one of the next 9 episodes, one of the next 3 series, I expect her to play a larger role in some way.
Mm-hmm.
Whether it's her getting off by Luthen or what, she's going to have a bigger role to play.
I hope so. But yeah, I mean, that's pretty much the whole storyline for Mon and Luthen in the first 3 episodes is Mon trying to, it seems like she's on this edge. It's like she's taking 1 step forward and then 2 steps back in terms of dealing with the rebellion and shit like that. And again, she's kind of just cracking under the pressure a little bit. So it's going to be very interesting to see where they take her character with the rest of the season. I'm definitely excited.
I'm pretty sure she just jumped off the high dive.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
I love the fact that Luthen, still playing his character, is getting information on the Empire while at this party. When he's talking to that naval family, and he's like, "Oh,
wait,
where did they go? Where did they deploy to?
Yeah, why are you guys all getting moved? Like, where are y'all going to?"
It's like he's such a good character.
Yeah. That scene was really good because it was like his he got like high pitched, like he was genuinely excited to ask him that question.
He leans back to like ask it. "Oh, where y'all going?
Where's everybody?" Let's move on to. Look, I want to go ahead and get this storyline out the way because I've seen a lot of this on social media and shit like that, and we're not gonna. I think it needs to be talked about. Okay, we don't have to talk too in depth about it, but I feel like it has to be mentioned, and that is Bix and Brassa. But we're gonna talk about Bix first.
This is what the Twitter discourse has been about.
And do what?
The Twitter discourse on this, it's insane.
Yes. Dude. So I saw everybody's reactions before I watched episode 3. All right. So everybody's like, "Oh man, there's SA and episode 3 and there's a rape scene and all this other shit. And that has no place in Star Wars. You know, this isn't This isn't, like Game of Thrones and shit like that. And I'm like, God damn, dude, like how bad was this fucking scene, right?
Yeah.
And I watch episode 3 and I'm like, nothing even fucking happened.
Yeah, she stops it.
She
kicked
stops
his
it, but it
ass.
was still
She
there.
literally killed him.
Right.
Do what?
She stopped it, but it was still there. And does it belong in Star Wars? I think it fits perfectly with what's going on. It's a whole power dynamic, Empire versus everybody else. I think it fits perfectly in there. I don't see an issue with it being in a Star Wars thing.
When it was already kind of there with Slave Leia and Return of the Jedi. Like, that's SA for sure.
Too.
I mean, look, people are just blowing it way out of proportion that they showed this Game of Thrones like scene, and that's not even what happened.
It was definitely probably the darkest that Star Wars has ever gotten.
I would agree to that.
Agreed. I would agree with that.
Yeah. Definitely the darkest scene Star Wars has had. And if this show was more at the level of Mandalorian or Ahsoka or something like that, then I would say that's highly inappropriate for the show. But this show is not that. This show, it starts with Cassian shooting two guys in the head. Or, I'm sorry, shooting one guy in the head and bludgeoning someone else to death. We've had assassinations. We've had murders. This is not a kid's show.
So is it wrong if I let my son watch this?
I'm not judging you for it. I'm just saying you can't be upset.
By the way, let's talk about this little motherfucker, okay? So I told you in the Discord the other day that he wanted me to wait, right? And we were going to watch two episodes.
You got 30 seconds in, and he's like, well, you can't watch this without me.
Yeah. So I get home last night. I'm like, oh, dude, we finna roll right into this shit, right? I got my food ready. Let's do it. We're going to binge the fuck out of this. And halfway through the first episode, he's like, I'm going to go play it next door. I'm like, bro, did I really just fucking wait 24 hours for you to just like blue ball me and fucking walk out the door and go to your friend's house? I'm not waiting for you. And then he comes back in like the middle of episode 2, I think. And then I couldn't hear shit in the house. So I was like, you know what? I'm fucking taking it to my bed, to the bedroom. And he's like, huh. And he's making all these fucking noises like he's pissed off. I'm like, what's your fucking problem, bruh? And he's like, I wanted to watch it with you. Bro, be so for real.
Why'd you leave?
Be so for real.
Sir, you're up for adoption.
But going back to the bigs, that was a little ADD moment. Like I said, I've seen all this discourse, and I was thinking about this was going to be like some Game of Thrones shit in this, and it just, to me, it wasn't even close to that. Now, was it the darkest thing that we've seen in Star Wars? Yeah, you could put it right up there, top 5 easily, maybe even the most darkest thing that Star Wars has done. But what I appreciate from this is the fact that Bix is the one that kills the dude. And she fights back and she fucking wins. Like, dude, like I wanted to fist bump her. She's such a fucking savage.
I kept on expecting, because they showed Cassian flying in, I kept on expecting for him to show up and save the day.
That's what I thought.
And
I'm so glad he didn't.
And I'm so glad he didn't.
So glad. Like, y'all want to talk out there about strong female characters and stuff like that? Like, this is a good, strong female character moment.
She's a lot of that in season 1 as well.
There is. You're right. What was the other thing about? So when that whole scene is going down with Bix, I was thinking to myself, I'm like, God damn, dude, these creators really fucking hate her character, man. God damn.
You could have picked anybody else to go through this.
Right? Like anybody else. She got tortured to fucking to the brink of death, and she's like a shell of herself at the very end of season 1.
Straight up PTSD at the beginning of season 2. And
now you're gonna try to fucking rape her? Like, damn, bro. Like, y'all chill the fuck out. Pass it off to another character or something.
Double and pass it to the nice guy. Get that little pipe bomb kid from season 1.
Which, by the way, speaking of season 1, Nick and I asked Nick this the other day. We totally just forgot about the storyline of Cassian trying to find his sister. That completely just went out the window.
I think it was more to set up his past and why he what's Marva, how him and Marva became a pairing, basically, like how she adopted him.
Literally could have done anything else.
I agree.
Never had to have a sister involved.
He could have easily been on that planet looking for something else and gotten involved in that. His sister did not need to play a role. I think that was one of those plot points they forgot about.
They did. It'd be curious. I'd be curious to know if they ever bring it back, and if they do, I'm like,
do not think they are.
Come on.
I think that is that.
They're not going.
They haven't mentioned it since episode 3 of season 1.
Yeah,
it's just gone.
It wasn't. No, it was a little bit later because Marva told him to stop looking.
Yeah, when he comes back after the heist.
Yeah.
Yep.
So it was mentioned, and I want to say that was like, okay, guys, we forgot to carry this on. So look, we're just gonna have Marva real quick say, put a pin in it, just stop, and then it's resolved. We don't have to worry about it again.
Bombing in the fucking plot point. We're going to look for her. Fuck her.
Who cares? You got more important stuff to do.
So Brasso eventually kicks the bucket at the very end of episode 3.
Off screen.
Yeah,
they don't even let you. Yeah, they didn't even show. They showed the stormtrooper aiming up his sights, and I'm like, oh, and then it pans off to something else. I'm like, oh, Cassian saved him. He shot the stormtrooper before anything happened. And then he's dead.
Before he died, though, I do appreciate him giving cover to the family that was keeping them, where he's like, oh, you turned on me, yada, yada, and then he winks at him and smiles, like, I got you.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, man, he's such a good guy.
Yeah, he was a decent character for someone that didn't get a whole lot of screen time. I like him.
Yep.
But I will say this about, and this kind of goes to my point earlier, that I feel like the end of episode 3 was really rushed. And for a character, it seemed like they wanted us to care for him, and I want to care for that character, but you rushed through it so much, and I get it. They're, the Empire is descending upon them, okay? Like, I get it. It needs to be rushed a little bit, but it was just, I thought the execution up to that portion was a little rushed, because like you said, the editing made it seem like everything was fine. And the next thing we know, he's fucking crashed.
I think the issue, too, is they gave so much screen time to that kid and his little girlfriend.
I don't think that was necessary at all.
It was. Yeah. We didn't need that. That was another plot device to get Brasso in the wrong spot.
This is true.
It could have done something else.
She's not going to get mentioned now that they're off that planet at all.
Right.
But speaking of relationships and dude trying to... one dude banging another girl. Let's talk about Cyril and Deidre.
Oh, man, it's coming up in the world.
Can you imagine the nightlife in that house?
God, dude, the fucking misery.
She has got the gimp suit and the gag out for him, and she's pulling the whip out.
And he's allowing it.
Absolutely. There's nothing. Even if he wasn't allowing it, there's nothing he could do to stop her.
Did y'all see, like, his mom, like, fucking starts loud capping his ass at lunch or dinner or whatever, and he just fucking, like, goes and pouts on the bed.
He just lays on the bed.
Goes and lays down in bed.
That was my favorite scene
go take a nap.
of the whole thing, because that's when Deandra snaps on her, and she's like, this is how it's going to work, and either you're just going to listen to me, or you're not in our life, so suck it up, bitch. You're like, damn.
And then he hears her, and he's like, wait, you mean I can come out of my room now? Like, my girlfriend's going to protect me?
He comes right as she finishes talking, and he looks at her like, you said something to her? Motherfucker, you was like 10 feet away.
You heard her. Like, come on. Both doors were open to that bedroom. Like, come on.
But, Nick had mentioned this before we started recording. He I didn't have this on my bingo card of Cyril and Deidre being a thing. Mm-mm. Like, they're in the house or the apartment together or whatever. I was like, damn, these two fucking, bro. And then they had the next scene where she's like getting dressed. I'm like, damn, they are. Okay, then.
Yeah. I thought that's where they were
Not
going.
Even a cover. It's legit.
At the end of season 1, after he saves her,
No, so he saves her, and she just has like the googly eyes at him for a minute, and then he turns back into a creeper.
He was pretty
Yeah,
creepy in
and that
season
was
one.
true.
Have you been stalking me? No,
But
I just hang outside your work. Yo, okay.
Like nobody fucking talking about how creepy that is. Right?
Yeah.
Where's the Twitter discourse on that? But the googly eyes, I took it as like she couldn't believe it was him that saved her out of all the people.
Yeah,
Like he was there and saved her.
I did not get the, oh my God, you saved me.
I was
I got the, what
50-50 on it.
Here?
I thought either they were going to go romantic with them or now they're going to start working together because he's been trying to work with her all of season one.
I expected a working relationship with her still being very verbally abusive to him, as she has been. Granted, she's probably still very abusive to him now, but he just enjoys it more.
He's okay with that.
She is 100% bring out the test plan. 100%. There's a safe word involved. And that safe word is what is it? Axis?
Phoenix?
Is that the name of the dude?
Not cheap Palpatine, bro. They love him.
What's the planet that destroyed her?
Oh yeah, Ferrix.
Yeah,
Ferrix, yeah. Actually, we haven't even talked about Krennic yet.
We don't.
Krennic, Ben Mendelsohn, he was in Rogue One as the quote-unquote main villain. He's back for episode 1, and I love the quirkiness of his character here. Like, I don't know, I can't really explain how he's acting here, but it just came off as a little quirky to me.
He gestures with his hands and does body motions a lot while he's talking to the rest of the people. Like, it's not very, the rest of them where they're just, straight, stiff as a board, talking, at ease.
So he shows up in this, and he's talking about them needing to acquire a mineral, which I'm guessing is to make the Death Star.
Yeah, he says the lenses to the cannon.
The lens, yeah.
For the cannon,
which I'm assuming is the big circle thing on the Death Star. That's the only thing I can assume. And then instead of
freaking laser beam,
right, and then they go into this propaganda spill, which reminded me very much of the Fallout little commercials and stuff that you see. And
or maybe
every second of it, but
or maybe the in Jurassic Park when they're showing the intro video of how the dinosaurs were made and shit.
Dinosaur DNA.
Dinosaur DNA.
It seemed like a commercial from a 1970s, but set in 1940s sitcom commercial.
Yes.
And I love that he's so into it that he keeps checking their reactions while they're watching it too. He is totally on board.
That's great, wasn't it? And when that scene happened, I was thinking to myself, have we ever seen TV in Star Wars ever?
We've seen
commercials or something.
We've seen drink ads. Yeah,
at the bar at Coruscant. We saw football.
I'm talking about full on commercials. I'm talking full on commercials.
No.
Episode 2 has the football game on the TV.
Really
That's about
weird
it.
To me, and I was like,
Yeah, episode 2 does have the football game on the bar, at the bar.
That is true.
But I think that's the extent.
Yeah, I think that's it. That's all I got.
It threw me for a loop. I had to rewatch that sequence because I got taken out of it so much in the best way possible. I was like, TV Star Wars, what? It was like my mind just got broken.
Did you
from that one little moment?
Did you get a feeling from the set design? I can't remember if it was in Deidre's apartment or in this whole meeting place or whatever, but it did a broad lens kind of opening of the area. It was in the apartment, and it looked very alien. The set of just the white panels and everything, it looked like a scene from Alien.
I didn't until you just mentioned it. Now that I'm kind of looking back on it, I'm like, yeah, you're right.
It was straight out of like a beginning of Aliens, whenever she gets saved and she's on the ship and it's just this white ship everywhere and she's seeing psychiatrists and whatever else. I'm like, this was taken straight out of Aliens, and I love it. It looks great.
More.
Right.
Please.
All right, the last little storyline that we have to talk about, and that makes we kind of alluded to it already, and that is the Cassian storyline. He starts off episode 1 with a bang, and it was a combination of a really great like action set piece with humor thrown in there. I thought was really
Slapstick?
great.
That makes
Yeah,
sense.
slapstick.
Like it's not like tacked on. Like it's a test ship. Like of course it controls weird, so he can't control it right.
Yeah.
And he also doesn't know how to drive it or fly it,
Yeah.
because he even
Doesn't know
mentions
how to
that
fly
in a
it,
later
yeah.
episode.
There's no instruction manual,
Yeah.
which there is.
Which-
you just don't have it.
Yeah. That's what happens when you steal something.
You know, funny thing about that whole conversation he has with her, where he's trying to communicate with her, and he's like, "Hey, like," and they're talking kind of in code a little bit at first.
And then he's just
how's the
like, out the
weather over
window.
there?
Right.
And then it's like mid conversation, he gets fucking tired of it, and he just starts talking in plain speech.
This is
And
not the
then-
ship you told me.
And what's funny is she's still talking
In
in
code.
like code, and then at the very end she says something. He's like, "Wait, what the fuck do you mean? Like, dude, do you not know what code is?" That defeats the whole purpose of it if you ask him what it means.
Seems like the assistant and Luthen are the only ones that try to keep the secret because, like we mentioned earlier, like Val, like not remembering, like, oh, I had been to the store, like, you know, and then she's like, no, you've been there multiple times. Like, we're not meeting for the first time.
I think it's everybody else sucks at being spies.
Yeah.
Yes,
Luthen and the assistant
They're-
are pulling the weight hardcore.
Right.
they're bulls in china shops kind of thing. Where he's all like secretive, secret agent man. But I thought all the stuff with Cassian and the very beginning with the TIE Fighter was so fucking good. This action set piece there was fantastic. I thought they did cool with with like the color palette, with like the greens and the reds thrown in there with it being at night. Thought it looked pretty fucking dope.
I do. How did that ship not get one little dent in it though? As much as he was bumping into,
He
everything?
floors it going like 1,000 miles per hour, going backwards, like straight into a wall.
Right. Like you should have broken something off there. Like the construction's not that good on a test ship.
And then
I question the integrity of your ship.
they continue the trend where the stormtroopers aren't terrible shots in the show. So like when they show up, all of them hit their shots. It's like none of that's doing damage to it. Like they are beaming
you
it.
know, I've always wondered the effectiveness of a handheld blaster versus a ship. Like you always see people shooting at ships, and nothing ever happens to the ship.
Nothing.
Now, granted, most ships have some sort of shield system on them. TIE fighters are known to not have shields, so
It's a valid point. I guess I never really thought about it. But then he goes to the planet, and that's when he meets this band of buffoons. And there's some good humor thrown out there, and it's a lot of Cassian kind of not only making fun of them, but also kind of like sabotaging them at the same time.
Hardcore.
It's kind of funny. But like I mentioned earlier, I just feel like it just kind of went on a little too long.
we could have had
like,
more of somebody else.
Yeah, it got to the point where I was just kind of bored by it, honestly. And that part of episode 2 where he is like he's tied up and he ends up escaping, that like right before all that where they're all fighting each other, you know, one's on the other side of the field, one's on the other side, and they're turning the fucking plane a centimeter a fucking hour or whatever the hell it was. I was like, okay,
And then how it caps with them playing rock, paper, scissors.
Yeah, okay. They were not the smartest because remember, they're complaining about not having water, and then it's Cassian that's like, it's not going to rain forever. Pull that tarp out and catch that water.
Yeah. Let's get some cups,
Yeah.
guys. And then I was really expecting, they showed them eating some strange fruit that smelled disgusting. I was expecting somebody to get sick and die from that. And evidently the fruit wasn't as bad as they thought it was going to be.
Mm-hmm.
And then they find the foot and boot of somebody that got killed during the initial
I
fight.
think it's the girl, the pilot that gets shot.
Yeah. So then they're playing rock, paper, scissors, and we see the creature for about 20 frames that ate everything but the boot. And we don't know anything about that animal again. Like, it just ran through the screen and killed one person. And
That is right. That did happen.
No, it's
and then Cassian gets on the ship and flies away.
Both the leaders of both sides in one bite. It's kind of crazy.
I'd still
like,
how
how big is
how
that
about
thing?
instead of rock, paper, scissors, let's have that thing just attack them, and that's how Cassian escapes.
And cut out like 15 minutes. It's not
And
15 minutes.
cut out-
It's less than that. But y'all get my point.
Cut out the ship turning. Say, hey, we found this leg. And then maybe they're about to come out ahead. They get attacked. Cassian escapes.
I thought that's what they were going for, because when he initially gets there, they're like, there's monsters out in the woods, and he's like, what are you talking about? And he's like, they're like, you'll see at night. And they just don't do anything. You see it, like you said, 20 frames.
But they don't do it, yeah. And yeah, 20, he's just doing, okay.
Yeah, they're dead.
Done.
All right. Cassian escaped.
They didn't have the budget.
They blew it on the hangar escape in episode 1.
Yeah, they already made everything, and they had like this like 5-minute, 10-minute long set piece of the action, and they're like, okay, guys, look, let's just let them run, and that's it. We don't have any more money.
I think out of all...
Guaranteed.
So then...
Oh, you can go ahead.
Oh, no, go ahead.
I think out of all the storylines, like, it's the weakest. Like, it's got a theme. It's Cassian learning that, like, rebellion with no leaders ends up just as madness, but it's like we didn't need 3 episodes to focus on that. We could have done that in 1, honestly.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Agreed. Knock it down to 1, and then I don't know, whatever, anything else.
Yeah, go back to Mon,
This
please.
storyline. yeah. Go bring it back to Mon. Let's go check out and see what she's doing. Let's see how bad she's having it.
Let's actually get to feel for Brasso, so that way when he dies, it actually means something for us.
That's true.
Exactly. Like, I think we needed a little bit more time with him in order to let me get hit in the feels.
Right.
Wasn't quite there. It was
wasn't.
more
And
of a
then
damn, that sucks.
Oh,
Even Cassian's return to the planet, to where he finds dead Brasso and finds Bix. It's like he literally flies right next to the ship that's creating the blockade, and they just let him fly, and he just, that if I do a nosedive, they're not going to see me.
yeah, shouldn't like that be picked up? Like, that was just stolen, and that is like secret tech. Like, they should be like, oh, there it is.
And first off, how do they not geotag that? Like, you would think, let's put a tracker on it, just so we know, just in case it breaks down during one of its test flights. We know where it's at. Let's geotag it.
Maybe they just don't anticipate it. Like, again, it goes back to the Empire just being arrogant at this
I'm
time.
not saying being stolen. I'm saying breaking down. It's a test ship. What if it breaks on one of its test missions? They need to find it.
Well, I mean, technically there'd be a person in it.
What if he dies?
Yeah, but if he's...
they care more about that ship than that guy.
They don't care about the pilot.
You can replace him easily
that's
enough.
Valid point.
So first off, they have this ship that goes missing for days, and nobody seems to really mention it except for Luthen. Well, we know he got off the planet, but nobody else is looking for this ship. And then it turns up next to an Imperial ship, and they don't even try to communicate. No one says, hey, man, we got this little blip on the radar. We don't know what it is. It's just like, oh, well, yeah, they didn't see me because I dove fast.
Yeah. It's not like scanners or a thing or anything.
But yeah, man, I thought the 3 episodes were great. A little slow in episode 2 with the Cassian storyline, but I thought this was a great start of the series, and I'm excited to see what we have in store in 5 days, something like that.
Yeah, 5 days.
When episodes 4, 5, and 6 drop. So yeah, guys, be on the lookout for that next week as we break down episodes 4, 5, and 6. And Ben, I appreciate y'all joining me.
Indeed.
Time. Thank you.
And we'll keep you around.
Yo, I won. Thank you.
That's it.
Yeah.
Just because you can mention Buffy themes with me
I
now.
can. Do you love me some Buffy?
Just know, we do need favors in return. If you know what I mean.
Sir, we're gonna go watch that movie in a couple days. Favors will be returned.
There won't be a seat in between them. I'll let you know that. But yeah, guys, if you like our content, drop a comment down below, like, subscribe, do all that bullshit. Really helps us out. Let us know in the comments how you feel about these first 3 episodes. Are they reaching the hype that has been out there from all the critics, or do you feel underwhelmed? Let us know down below, and we shall catch y'all next week on the next review. Laters.